Have you ever met someone who craves admiration, refuses accountability, and somehow always makes everything about themselves, yet people are still drawn to them? That magnetic confidence isn't random. It's psychological construction. Today, we're uncovering the hidden psychology behind narcissism, the patterns, the wounds, and the truth most people never talk about. Narcissism doesn't begin with arrogance. It begins with emotional injury. Many narcissists were either excessively praised or emotionally neglected as children. Both extremes create the same belief: my worth depends on how others respond to me. So they build a false self, stronger, louder, more impressive, to protect the fragile self underneath. Narcissism becomes a survival strategy, not a personality choice. Some were told they were special without ever being taught emotional responsibility. Others were ignored, so they learned to fight for attention in any way possible. Their ego is not confidence, it's armor. Narcissism grows where emotional vulnerability was never safe. Deep down, narcissists fear ordinary connection because it requires honesty, not performance. So admiration becomes their oxygen. And without attention, they feel invisible and terrified. The louder the ego, the quieter the insecurity behind it. Narcissism is not strength. It's self-protection disguised as superiority. To understand a narcissist, you must first understand the wound they bury beneath pride. Narcissists see the world through a hierarchy, not a partnership. People are either useful, threatening, or irrelevant. Their self-worth is externally regulated. They measure their value through reactions, attention, and admiration. That's why rejection feels like annihilation, not inconvenience. Criticism isn't feedback, it's an attack. To protect themselves, they rewrite reality. They deny responsibility because admitting fault threatens their constructed identity. Their charm isn't accidental, it's strategic. They learn what earns admiration and repeat it. They exaggerate strengths and minimize weaknesses to control perception. Relationships become transactions, not emotional bonds. They prefer attention over intimacy because intimacy exposes what they are trying to hide. Being adored feels safe. Being known feels dangerous. Their emotional world is shallow, not because they lack feelings, but because they fear them. Narcissism is a fortress, but even fortresses are built from fear. Narcissists appear confident on the surface, but inside, they fear being truly seen. Vulnerability feels dangerous to them because it exposes their fragile core. They believe emotions make them weak, so they suppress softness. Their arrogance acts as armor against emotional intimacy. They struggle to apologize because apologies feel like surrender. Admitting mistakes threatens the image they work so hard to maintain. They fear abandonment more than anything, yet their behavior often pushes people away. They test relationships to see if people will still stay after being mistreated. Love confuses them because it requires honesty, empathy, and reciprocity. Instead of healing old emotional wounds, they protect them with ego. Their identity depends on controlling how others see them. They struggle with deep relationships because depth requires emotional truth. When someone gets too close, they may disappear, reject, or devalue that person. Their distancing behavior isn't confidence, it's self-protection. And beneath every mask, there is a wound they never learned to face. Narcissists crave control because unpredictability threatens their sense of superiority. They view relationships as dynamic hierarchies, not equal partnerships. To them, being right matters more than being kind. They often rewrite stories to make themselves the hero or the victim. Control gives them emotional safety, even if it hurts others. They use silence, anger, or emotional withdrawal as weapons. Their charm appears early, but control appears later. They dislike being questioned because it disrupts their authority. They react defensively when confronted because accountability feels like attack. Winning arguments becomes more important than resolution or connection. To maintain control, they may isolate partners from support systems. They manipulate through praise, withdrawal, and selective affection. Their love feels conditional, based on obedience and admiration. They may fear losing power more than losing people. And in every relationship, the goal is the same: emotional dominance. Narcissists aren't addicted to love, they're addicted to approval. Applause feels like oxygen to them. Criticism feels like suffocation. They often manipulate situations to stay admired or superior. Losing control makes them panic more than losing someone. They fear emotional vulnerability because it threatens their image. Their deepest terror is being ordinary. They chase admiration the way the thirsty chase water, but no amount of praise ever feels enough. Their ego is loud because their self-worth is silent. Their relationships are built on transaction, not connection. They see people as mirrors that should reflect back perfection. When the mirror stops flattering them, they break it and walk away. They seek control because they fear abandonment. But ironically, their fear often pushes people away. Narcissism isn't confidence. It's a fragile identity built on fear, validation, and performance. And behind every sharp ego lies a wounded inner child who never learned they were enough without applause. If this helped you understand someone or yourself, take a moment to reflect. Like, share, and subscribe if you want more real psychology, unfiltered,